Hey guys, welcome everyone. We will be starting in few minutes. Sorry for the delay. We are waiting for officials to join.
What about the branch managers? Have they joined?
Yes, I can see Nishi ma'am. I guess you can start now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be formal right now. So good afternoon to everyone. I hope it's going well on your end. This is SANDHYA Subramanian, along with my colleagues who have thought about hosting this event, which will be hopefully give you some insights and a preface of what front-end and back-end is going to be. We have invited some friends who are currently studying at Acciojob to express the reason behind choosing the respective track and also the difficulties that they are facing after choosing the track or the reason why they chose it. So which is going to be helpful for picking your own pick. And nextly, and I forgot, I'll say it again. Our batch managers are invited, working individuals are invited, CEOs are present, so speak accordingly. And I also thank all of the working professionals, batch managers for picking out time out of their busy schedule to attend our session. So, in the end, pen down your questions that you want to ask at the end. There will be a Q&A session. So you can ask it during that time. So let's make the session interactive. And right now, Priyansh Dubey will be talking. We'll start the talking.
Hello guys, I'm audible to you? Good afternoon,
Yeah,
guys.
you are.
I'm Priyansh Dubey, a batchmate of yours. Without putting hinders in your path of selection, that where should we go exactly to the follow-up, I may elaborate the two lines which were there for me as a confusion part, that we are filled with the confusion of lava and either to select MERN or Java. So basically, this of the lines were guided by myself that where should we go exactly, means which of the track we need to follow for after the 4th month. So without putting you in hinders for the path of selection, where should we go after the 4th month? And even people selecting the track of the Java after joining the completely MERN or means completely for the Java backend. So MERN, what is actually MERN depends on. MERN, the components of the MERN consist as the MongoDB. First of all, the MongoDB is the database. It is a scalable database and flexible with the SQL database, and that stores the data in the JSON like document format. So basically, it's the storage for and accessing the data. We can use the MongoDB. The next comes with the Express.js. Express.js is a minimalist and flexible web application framework for the Node.js. So at the end, we need Express.js to access the Node.js also. And here comes the most interesting or the most common framework or library, we should say, the React.js. React is a framework, or it's a library. React is a JavaScript library for the building user interfaces, which we use. And at the end, but not the last, it's the Node.js. Node.js is a runtime environment that allows the server-side execution for the Java code. So we are here with the thoughts of the components of the MERN stack. MERN stack, which till now, which I have been thinking of till now, which I have the understandings that MERN stack is all compromises with the 4 basic pillars that are the MongoDB, Express, React, and Node.js. So here we are having Mr. Lalit Kumar with us from OLX, who will guide us on the MERN stack also for the React. He is a React developer. And please, Lalit sir, are you here?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Lalit sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. So, should I speak in English or like?
Yeah. मतलब आप जिसमें भी कंफर्टेबल हैं, आप मतलब हेल्प के लिए मतलब हम लोग गाइडेंस के लिए आए हैं, तो प्लीज आपका जिसमें भी आप कंफर्टेबल हैं, प्लीज
Please speak in English. Sure. Okay, first let me give you my introduction.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm Lalit and I'm software developer at OLX Autos, Gurgaon. I have 4 years of experience in front-end technologies like React, Angular, JavaScript, jQuery. But currently I'm like working completely on React.js, and I do little bit of designing also. So you can say I am a UI UX designer as well. UI UX is like a hobby for me. So I like started learning after my office hours and all. So yeah, this is my introduction. So how should I like start like
Means what was
should I
your
tell
journey
my
and where you have
journey
selected?
or
Yeah, yeah. Means where were the joining point? Where were the turning points, or where were the selecting points that where should we start, or where we should focus if we are going towards the MERN? And how should we relate that according to you or according to our experienced person? How should you guide us or provide some special points for
yeah,
us?
yeah, yeah. Sure, sure, sure. So, according to myself, what I like suggest people, nowadays everyone is going for full stack, full stack, full stack. So my suggestion, like whoever asked me, should I do front end, back end, or full stack? Major messages comes like, hey, I am doing full stack, full stack. So my suggestion is like, don't go for the full stack first, like focus on like front end or back end, whatever you like.
Yeah, yeah,
uh, Prepare, like go hardcore on that, prepare well with front end or back end, get the job, and then use the company resources. Like in my company, they provide me like a class resources to learn anything, like Udacity or any course I want. They provide me like, hey, you can learn this, and they pay everything. So
yeah, yeah,
my suggestion is like go with one field. Like you want to be a designer, go for it. You want to be a front end developer, go for it. Or back end developer, go for it. Then take a job, and in the company you can switch. Like you can learn a full stack there. Maybe you are in back end, you want to go in front end, then you can switch inside the company, and company will give you all the resources you want to, whatever you want to learn.
okay,
So one thing is this. Another thing is, let me start my journey. So I am like passed out in 2019. So in my college there was zero placement and all, so I have done everything by my own. So the first point I want to say, you should have a great resume, like not more than one page. So in resume, if I give some tips, first section should be your brief introduction, not more than 4 to 5 lines. The next section should be your education. The third section should be your, if you are experienced, you can add your experience. Otherwise, add your best 3 projects, 3 or 2 projects. And after that, you want to write your certification or hobby, and those are not that much mandatory. Second point, you should build a very attractive portfolio website. It will be your second resume, because when we send resumes to HRs or recruiters, they and put that link on your resume at the top. So what they do is like they try to check your projects or any portfolio website you have. So it will give you a positive point, like, hey, he knows, and make the projects according to like, make one project in e-commerce, make one project in OTT platforms like Netflix and all, and make one platform like YouTube. So these kind of are the example of creating projects. You
yeah,
can
yeah.
like create as many projects you want. Yeah, you were saying anything?
No, no, no. Continue, please.
And resume, portfolio, and the online presence. Like try to create a good LinkedIn profile. Add a happy or any casual. Not I'm not saying try to add like a casual or like in a suit. On LinkedIn, the photos I usually see, like there are lots of people who have added a coat pant like DP and all. I'm not a good fan of those DPs. So try to add a casual, happy DP of yourself. Add a good background, like which shows like your field. Like you are you in a coding? Like you can search wallpapers from Google and like add the background image. After that, don't write freshers or anything like that in your LinkedIn profile. Okay, you have to show like I am a developer and I know these technologies. Like don't give them like hey, he's a fresher. They just ignore those profiles. So write like front end developer, your technology names like React, Angular, Node, MERN, like that. After that, write a good paragraph about me or about us. Like there is a section called about me. So in that, try to explain yourself and try to connect with people as many as possible. Like I always say, like LinkedIn is not for freshers. For like freshers, you use LinkedIn only for connections. Okay, it will help you after some time. Like for when I created account on LinkedIn as a fresher, like no one responded, no one accepted request. Rarely people like. Then I have done some tweaks and all. After that, I try to send around 200 requests every week to a good company. Like I search by company, like hey Google, and I go to the people section and I try to send as many requests as possible. After like maybe 2 years, like it helped me a lot. So like so many recruiters message me like, hey, we have a position, we have this. So my point is like as a fresher, LinkedIn is not for freshers for applying jobs and all because no one sees. This is what I experienced, but you can try.
Okay.
So lots of people message me like, hey, we have applied like 1,000 jobs in LinkedIn and we try to connect with so many people and like I ask them to share their profile and I see their profile like no DP, no wallpaper, not a single description. So like I told them how someone will like accept or revert back to you. So that you have to do like create a proper good LinkedIn profile.
Okay.
And the last one is I would say whatever you code every day, like if you write a single line of HTML, try to push to GitHub, like whatever repository platform you are using, like GitLab or Bitbucket or GitHub. Majorly GitHub is used. So what you can do is you can like try to push whatever you code, like you wrote like 1 line, 2 line, at the end of the day try to push it to GitHub. So what GitHub shows, like in the main page, it will show you like a graph of every day, like you have pushed this 1 contribution, 2 contribution. So whenever some interviewer, I remember a few interviews when I was giving in my like starting time. So what I used to do is I used to push everything daily, whatever I learn, whatever I create, any project and all. So a few interviewers like were very impressed, like, hey, you are not doing any job and all, and like your GitHub profile, we are seeing like you push codes every day. Like we really like your commitment towards coding and all. So that was like a very positive point they look. So yeah, you should like push all your code, like whatever you write every day.
Okay. Okay. So
And my learning of React, one last is like I really struggled with. In my first job, I like did UI UX designing also. So and I do the front end development also. I was hired as a front end developer, but they don't have at that time they don't have the designer in their team. So I told my manager like, hey, let me do the UI UX also. So after that, I came to know like, hey, there is some UI library, like sorry, UI library, not React. So first I have learned like Angular and all. After that, I have came to know like hey, there is this React thing which is very popular nowadays. So I started learning with YouTube and all. Uh, it has a learning curve, but you have to keep practicing it. Because I struggled a lot. Like I watched thousands of tutorial of React, and at the end, like, hey, what I am doing? Like I was not able to understand that much. Then I came across a platform called Scrimba, in which there is a React course. It is completely free. That helped me a lot. Like it cleared my basics in React, and after clearing those basics, I like started with YouTube videos and all.
Okay.
And I have not done any courses or any paid courses. Everything I learned from free resources, YouTube or any online platform.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, we can conclude that if you are going towards the React or we are moving towards the MERN, so we need to push or we need to try to learn skills from HTML, CSS, from the basics to the upcoming libraries or the future part of the advanced version of MERN stack.
Yes.
Is that like that? So from basic, we need to provide all the skills, as well as we need to maintain our LinkedIn profile, and we need to try to approach people on LinkedIn, as well as we need to means work in all directions. We can conclude like that.
Yes.
Okay.
And one more thing, it is a kind of a life hack. If you are a full stack developer, create 3 different resumes. Okay. One for front end, one for back end, and one for a full stack. And now apply to all the jobs. Like if you see a front end developer job, apply it. If you see a back end developer job, apply it. If you see a full stack developer job, apply it. So it will be good, or like you will capture all the jobs. And like there will be like lots of opportunity. Like if I am a front end developer, I cannot apply in back end or full stack. So I have only one like field of front end. So this will really help. If you are a full stack, major on one area first. It is very good. Like you are a full stack, but focus on one area first, like front end, back end. Okay, then master the front end, then go to back end, or master the back end, then go to front end, become a full stack, create 3 resumes, apply everywhere.
Okay, got it. So I will now, as Lalit Kumar or Mr. Lalit Kumar has concluded that we need to put all of the efforts from the beginning towards maintaining all the stages and all the factors. And now I would like to hand over the gracings by Sandhya. Sandhya, could you please unmute yourself?
Yes, am I audible?
Yeah, Sandhya.
Thank you, Mr. Lalit Kumar, for gracing this session. This will definitely prove helpful to us. And now, let me tell you, we have 2 people who are our guest of honor. One is Priyanshu Agarwal, who is the co-founder of Acciojob, and we also have Mr. Priyanshu Agarwal from the co-founder of Acciojob, and Mr. Mrityunjay Pandey, who is a curriculum lead from the Acciojob team. So I would like to invite them and ask them to give their tips for students to consider before choosing the track. Please,
Hey.
sir.
Hello. Hi, Sandhya. Thank you for the introduction. Hello, everyone. So, yeah, very heartwarming to see all of you people, arranging this particular session and, having a discussion among yourself for better clarity to which particular track you should select. Just a heads up, I have a meeting at 3, so I will have to leave in 10 minutes. But we have Mrityunjay. Mrityunjay is the curriculum lead. He is the person who is making sure that all of each and every person who is working in and with Acciojob and all of the students at Acciojob are able to learn what in the most efficient way. There are 2 certain pointers I wish to point out. The first is that the most important thing that we all have to understand is that we can listen to each and everything. A lot of people have a lot of different views, and everyone has a different perspective about how we should move forward in our learning journey. But at the end of the day, it's not just about listening to different perspectives. The most important thing over which everything boils down is that we as people should be able to implement whatever we are understanding. And now suppose if we are told to do a certain number of assignments, or we are told to do, we are told to sort of give mocks, or we are told to do anything, then the most important thing that we have to keep in mind is, at the end of the day, planning something is not as important as implementing it. Okay. And the second pointer that we all need to understand is that learning journey is always a very painful one. If you are not facing any difficulties in your learning journey, then actually you are not learning anything. Okay. Whenever we are starting something new, we will always face difficulties. And these difficulties and the emotions that come along these difficulties are something that actually make us skilled enough or actually give us any learnings. So basically, what we have all been to college, correct? And the journey of college is very different, because in college, we are more or less, there are certain exams that we have to clear. Okay. Whatever you are learning in college is not something that you will use throughout your life. It's not a skill that you are acquiring. It's just a couple of things that you might be understanding, you might be cramming, you might be just, somehow you might be somehow you are just able to comprehend that thing so that you can pass a particular exam. But when we talk about skills, or when we talk about life in general, we actually need to have very better, very descriptive and very comprehensive understanding of our domain, so that we can actually implement it in the future. And when these things comes into play, then it's very difficult to learn anything new. Whenever we are learning anything new, there will be a lot of difficulties we will face. And whenever we face any difficulty, there are a lot of emotions attached to it. Suppose you as a person is doing a particular question and you are stuck at a particular question, then you will always feel that anxiety that why I am not able to do this question, or my friend did it in 1 hour. It's been already more than an hour and I am not able to do this question. Or there might be any other emotion that, am I lacking the capability of doing this particular question? Will I be able to finally, do it? Will I finally be able to complete this course? Will I finally get a placement or not? All these things, all these emotions are very normal when you are learning something new. And the most important part about a learning journey is also embracing these particular emotions. Because until and unless you are aware about your clarity of concepts or your standing in your learning journey, until then you won't be able to move forward. Okay, so this is something that we as people, we as adults, and we, mostly all of you have become adults recently, because I don't think people who are in college have, it's a very skeptical understanding of being adult, being independent. But when life comes into play, and believe me, life is hard every day. It's not an exam that you have to track. You have to crack after a certain number of days. Every day is like an exam, because every day you will have to learn. Every day you will have to pass. Every day you will have to move forward. Okay. So this is something that we have to embrace. This is something we have to understand, that the whole journey of learning will be tough. And, see, all of you who joined Acciojob, you have joined Acciojob with a final goal of getting the outcome, that is placement. But the thing about, placement, and the thing about something is that we can't just, every time when we are learning something, we can't keep placement as our ultimate goal. Because what will happen then, it will take up a lot of your mind space. And everything you will be doing will, eventually contribute to it. But at this particular point, you will think that this, if I am doing this particular question and my ultimate goal is to get a placement, then how much contribution is this question having in my placements? And you will somehow lose track of the importance of, going through and doing that question yourself. You have to face your problems yourself. Until and unless we are facing our problems ourselves, the next time the same set of problems will come now, you won't be able to, solve it on your own. Definitely, this happens with me as well. Whenever I am doing a new question, whenever a new problem comes up to me, after the first couple of minutes, I want to seek help. I want someone to tell me how to do this question. I want someone to tell me the approach, the logic, how to implement it. But if I, at that particular point of time, I give away to that particular emotion and I take the help, then the next time the same set of problem will come to me, I won't be able to solve it. And that's the whole difference of mindset which we need to conquer. Because I have been to college, you have been to college, we have been to school as well, we have been to the educational institutions set up in India. And all of us know that, we haven't acquired any skill. We were going to college lectures just to ensure that we are, somehow we are able to cope up with the attendance policy. We were giving exams just because we wanted to, sort of pass that particular exam, pass that particular course. But right now, when we are wanting our output as big as getting skilled and as big as getting a placement per se or joining a company as a software developer, then what matters the most is your in-depth understanding of concepts and your final capability, that is called skill. And that journey will always be painful. And what to select out of the front end track or the DSA track, that is a very subjective thing. That is different for each and every person. We can't generalize it. We can't say that it cannot be a group meeting wherein 10 particular individuals come to a common consensus that all of us will join the DSA track, because those 10 particular individuals will have 10 different learning acumen, 10 different learning speed, and they will have 10 different understanding of their concepts. So over here, we also need to understand that we have joined this course as individuals to get a very individualistic goal. And in order to get that very individualistic goal, which we are calling placement right now, we have to learn. And that learning is not subjective to the fact that we have to give a module test or a mock. That is a learning that will compound over the time. We will have to invest each and every day of ours, and we will have to face our problem ourselves. We have each and everything. We have a lot of doubt support. We have instructors. We have other people coming in. But at the end of the day, until and unless you do a problem by yourself, you won't be able to, sort of counter any such problem in the future. So handing over to Mrityunjay. And very sorry, guys, I just wanted to stay a bit longer and talk to you people a bit more, understand what pain points you are having in the course as well, so that I can solve it. But I was informed of the meeting a bit late, so I have a important meeting at 3, so I will be leaving. But we have Mrityunjay with us, so it would be great if Mrityunjay you can sort of give the students a better clarity over the difference between DSA and front end tech. And the more important thing, how to think individually and how to actually self-evaluate themselves. What is the better choice for them?
Sure, Priyanshu. I'll take up from here. Thank you so much for all the clarification. So guys, as Priyanshu has explained, my name is Mrityunjay. I am the curriculum lead for front-end development track at Acciojob. I'll give you an idea of what you guys will be facing if you choose the Java full stack track, and what you guys will be facing if you choose the MERN stack track, right? Also, if we can keep this as a ground rule that if all of you can just mute yourself if you don't have anything to speak, right? That will just keep the decorum of the whole session. Okay, clear to everyone? Right. So, guys, I think Lalit also emphasized on many important points while he spoke, right? And Priyanshu also gave you many insights. I'll be just clubbing all of that, and we will take the discussion in the direction. First of all, we'll see that what challenges are there on the DSA track, or what you call the Java full stack track, and on the MERN stack track, right? Because as Priyanshu said, learning is a difficult process. We all understand that. So both tracks have their individual challenges, right? And their individual way of tackling with them. Okay. And both tracks have their own sets of rewards at the end, right? In terms of career. Correct. So we'll be taking our discussion in that. And once we discuss that, the major conclusion will be that you should be aware of your own strengths, your own capabilities, and your own interest, first of all. Okay. So let's take one by one. Let's talk about the Java full stack track. Okay. So in Acciojob, if you will be choosing Java full stack track, the first thing that you'll be learning is going to be DSA, right? I think everyone knows that once you clear the fundamental modules, then you will be learning DSA for next 3 months, right? After 3 months, there will be 1 month of placement preparedness where you'll be making a very good resume, you'll be making good projects, right? You'll be having interview preparation, right? And then you will be learning Java backend, which is basically Spring Boot, which is a framework of Java. You'll be learning Spring Boot there. So you'll finish the Java backend part, and then you'll go to front end, and you'll learn the basics of front end so that you complete your whole full stack course. Okay. On the other hand, if you choose MERN stack, then the first thing that you'll start learning immediately after beginner modules will be front end curriculum, right? So you'll be learning front end for 4 months. The first month will be focused on HTML and CSS. The second and third month will be focused on JavaScript. JavaScript is again a language, like you guys must be practicing questions in Java. JavaScript is just another language which was basically developed for building interactive websites, right? It was developed in 1995. So you can say that JavaScript is the language of the internet. Okay. Most of the, I should say that almost every website is based on JavaScript, correct? There are some alternatives in the market like TypeScript and all, but JavaScript is the most popular language when it comes to web development, right? So that is why a lot of emphasis will be put on learning JavaScript for 2 months. Then you will be learning React, which is again a library of JavaScript, right? And these 4 months will complete your basic modules of front-end development. Then there will be a placement preparedness module for front-end where you'll be building cool projects, right? And you'll be again making your own portfolio. You'll be making a very good resume, right? And yeah, that will be placement preparedness module for front-end. Okay. Then after finishing the placement preparedness module, you'll be learning the backend technologies, which is MongoDB, which is a database management tool, right? You'll be learning Node, which is a framework of JavaScript for backend development. And then also you'll be learning Express, right? Which is a framework of built upon Node, right? Which makes your life easy, right? Working with Node. Okay. So that is what we mean by MERN stack, right? MERN stack stands for MongoDB, Express.js, React, and Node. Okay. Out of these, M, E, and N is something that you'll be covering as a part of backend development. And R, which is React, is a library of JavaScript, which you'll be learning in front-end development. Okay. So is everyone clear with the track so far? Is everyone clear with what is going to be the content that you'll be studying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Great. So now let us talk about that as a student, how we can take the decision that which track we should choose. So in case you choose Java backend specialization with front end as well, then we have to keep in mind that the first few months will be DSA. Okay. So far you have done some amount of DSA, right? Very basic DSA. I guess all of you must have studied about conditionals, loops, arrays, strings, sorting, recursion, oops, right? I think all of you must be familiar with these things. From this point on, if you are going to choose Java backend track, you will be learning some more complicated data structures, right? Like linked lists, stacks, queues, binary search trees, graphs, etc. Right? And so the 3 months will be completely focused on learning more and more DSA. Okay. And then there will be a DSA placement preparedness module. Now, what is the challenge with DSA? DSA is essentially logic building and problem solving. Okay. Like you must have solved complicated puzzles in the past, right? Which takes a lot of brainstorming, a lot of mental effort to comprehend, to come up with a solution and then to code it out, right? DSA is also conceptually more difficult, right? In terms of understanding the data structures, right? Like binary search trees or linked lists or stacks and queues, how you input a data, how you retrieve the data, right? How you manipulate those data structures. And then there are many different algorithms that you will need to understand And then when you get a DSA question, you have to be so much skilled that you understand that, okay, if I am given this problem statement, then it will be solved using this data structure and using this algorithm. So far, whatever questions you have solved, at least you had some idea that, okay, since I have studied this in this particular module, so I'll be using these techniques. Okay. So if you are in beginner one and then you are getting an assignment or some question in the module test, then you know that you have only studied loops, nested loops, arrays, 2D arrays, right? So whatever questions come will be around these. But when you will be completing the DSA part, and when you'll be actually sitting for placement, then the questions will not really have those tags, right? The questions will come as a blank slate. You will just have the problem statement. Now it will be up to you to figure out which data structure to use, which algorithm to use, and how to solve that question. Okay. So to sum it up, mastering data structure and algorithm needs a good ability of logic building and problem solving, right? And I mean, again, these skills are something that can be learned, but I think we all understand that only the person who finds these kind of activities interesting or fun, or who take these as a challenge, can learn faster. So if you are that person, if you get a puzzle, then you take it as a challenge, and then you are very passionate about reaching the solution on your own, right? Finding the solution on your own. You build you build logic to logic, complex logics, then you simplify logic, then you try some other logic, right? But you try to find the solution on your own. Only such people can, progress in this on this track, or how can I say, they can master DSA, right? Again, it's not very complicated, very challenging. It is something that is doable, but you should understand that it will test your patience in terms of understanding the concept and solving the questions in, with the proper logic building and problem solving, right? Talking about what things you should take care of if you choose this track, the most important thing if you choose a DSA track is that you should be solving more and more questions, more and more type of questions. You should be covering more and more topics, and you should be covering more and more difficulty levels, right? So if you have learned a particular topic, it's not just that you'll be only solving easy questions related to that, or only easy and medium questions, right? You should be solving easy question, medium question, and hard questions. Okay. And yes, the more number of questions that you solve, the more number of topics that you cover, the more number of data structures and algorithms you cover in your questions, that will be your outshining feature in your profile. So the companies that select based on data structures and algorithms, they will love to see your, let's say, questions profile, right? That how many questions you have solved, and what topics you have covered, what difficulty levels you have covered, right? So the only thing that you have to take care of when you're learning data structures and algorithms is questions, right? You just have to solve data structure and algorithm questions. In the end, of course, we'll be helping you in making projects and resume. But whenever a company selects students based on data structures and algorithms, they are not really looking for core development knowledge, right? People who know data structures and algorithms, they do not really know anything about software development as such, right? But companies are still willing to select them because someone who has mastered data structures and algorithm, it shows that they have excellent logic building and problem solving skills, right? Then if a person has that already, then basics of front-end development or back-end development is something that the company can train those people on, right? Sir, can you please repeat the last minute content? Tushar, I'm just... Sorry, guys. I'm just repeating the same things. The thing that I'm saying right now is what I mentioned in the last minute as well. So you haven't really missed anything in particular. But yeah, as I was saying, that when a company selects students based on data structures and algorithms, they are only looking for good logic building and problem solving skills. And the basics of front end or back end development is something that company will train those students on. Okay. Okay, then when you start learning development, right? Guys, I would insist that we keep the questions in the end, right? Let me just finish whatever I'm saying, because probably the question that you have, it might get answered in my discourse, right? So let's keep the Q&A for the end. I will give you sufficient time to ask your questions, right? And then we can take up all those questions. Okay, so as I was saying, that is about data structures and algorithms. When you're learning data structures and algorithms, it doesn't really matter which language you choose to learn data structures and algorithms. In Acciojob, you are learning it in Java because Java is the most widely used language for backend development, right? So the language that you learn is not that important, right? Here you are learning logic building, problem solving. You are not really learning Java as such. But when you will start learning Spring Boot, when you will start learning development in particular, right? When you'll be learning backend development in Java, then the knowledge of language also becomes very important. So there, a lot of emphasis will be on learning core Java, learning details of Java, how Java works, right? Different kind of runtime environments, right? API development using backend development. But again, that is something, if you have mastered DSA already, then learning Spring Boot is not that difficult. Okay. But yeah, so these are the main challenges of the Java backend track, that it is going to be logically more intensive, right? It will take a lot of your mental capability to master the intermediate level of DSA that you are supposed to. Now let's come to MERN stack track, where after finishing the beginner module, you'll be starting with front-end development. So as you can understand, MERN stack track starts with development, right? MERN stack, like in DSA, you will not be building any software. You'll be only solving questions. MERN stack track starts with front-end development, and you start building web pages from the first module itself. Okay. Now, when it comes to learning front-end development that you'll be investing 4 whole months on, the important thing to note is that compared to DSA, understanding front-end development is easy, right? Compared to DSA, right? It has some challenges. When we start learning JavaScript, then we have to, invest a lot of time in understanding some of the details. But conceptually understanding front-end, the components that are required for front-end development is easy. It's not that difficult, right? Because if you start with HTML and CSS, in HTML, really, there's nothing to understand as such, right? They are just tags, and it tells you that which tag does what, right? But one thing that I have to emphasize is that since we are starting with development, then from the very beginning, a lot of emphasis will be on understanding the languages that are involved, right? Because when we are learning development, then we are not learning logic building and problem solving. We are trying to understand how the languages work, right? And how we can use those languages to build cool things, right? So when we will be learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React, we will have to focus a lot on core understanding of these languages. So first of all, the main challenge will be that there will be a lot to remember. There will be a lot of things that you'll need to remember, right? And the next set of challenge is something, how can I explain it? Okay, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about learning painting, right? Learning front-end development is something somewhat similar to learning painting, right? So if I tell you the theory of painting, right, it will not be difficult to understand. I can tell you what different type of brushes are there, what different canvases are there, right? How many different colors are there, what color you can use, right? What kind of brushes should be used for individual tasks, right? What canvas should be used in what situations, and everything I can explain you. And honestly, it will not be that difficult to understand. All of us can understand that, right? But just understanding that theory doesn't make us painters, right? We cannot call ourselves painters until and unless we make a painting, right? And we make a good painting. Only after that we can call ourselves painters. That is why on MERN stack track, understanding each and individual part of the theoretical understanding of the language is not that difficult. The difficult part is mastering those the skill of building a web page, right? You will know individual components, but when it comes to building a web page, then only through regular and constant practice you will be able to understand that, okay, I need to use this component for this particular feature, right? This other component for this particular feature, right? So the real learning or real showcase of skills for a front-end or back-end developer comes from the kind of projects that he or she builds, right? So like on Java backend track, the important thing was solving more and more questions. On front-end track or on MERN stack track, the important and most crucial thing will be making more and more cool projects, right? And Acciojob curriculum actually helps you with that. Acciojob front-end curriculum is completely based on, it's completely project driven. So once you finish a certain set of things, right, we normally help you make a project, right, in the class itself. But again, just looking at the instructor coding and writing it down or writing the same code down is easier. The real challenge will be, making the good web pages on your own. So that is also something that you'll need to practice. So MERN stack track is again very intensive in terms of effort, right? You'll need to learn a lot of things. You'll need to remember a lot of things, and you'll need to constantly implement those things in making good projects, right? And I can tell you that if solving a difficult question in DSA takes 1 to 2 hours, right? I'm talking about the difficult question, right? If it takes 1 to 2 hours, making a decent project in front-end development, even if it is just based on HTML, CSS, not even JavaScript is being used, making a decent project takes at least 4 hours, right? So you will need to give a lot of time for project building and practicing. It will test your patience in terms of, how much effort you can put, right? It is literally, if I have to say that, it is just hardcore labor, right? You have to learn things and you have to implement things. And if you can't implement a particular thing, you can seek help. You can obviously take doubt resolution or front-end mentorship, or even you can Google certain things, right, to do on your own. But yeah, that will be the main challenge of MERN stack track, that it will take a lot of your time. Okay. Now we have talked about challenges. Let's talk about rewards, right? MERN stack track has the reward that MERN stack is a full stack track. You get a very good projects to showcase your profile, right? And there are many opportunities for MERN stack developers. And also that once, if you go for the role of a front-end developer or a back-end developer, then the companies will not really test you on the complications of data structures and algorithms. You need to know the basics of data structures and algorithms, that the bare minimum that you will be learning in beginners modules. That level of data structures and algorithm is something that the companies will expect you to know, right? But nothing beyond that. Okay. So that is one advantage, that if you have good projects in your CV and you understand the details of languages, right, getting a job as a MERN stack developer will avoid you, will save you a lot of DSA practice, right? And if we talk about, so this is the benefit of MERN stack track. If we talk about the DSA track, mastering DSA or understanding DSA is conceptually more difficult, right? But the amount of time that you give for questions, right, it is easy. I mean, it is less. And what do I mean by less is that, for example, if you pick up a question and even if it takes 1 hour or 1.5 hours, right, after solving the question, you get the results immediately. So it takes only 1.5 hours for you to see the results, right? Making a project is a long process, right? Only after investing 4 to 5 hours, and it can be even more, then you get to see the result, right? Then you get to see the page that you have built, right? So it is a lot more time intensive, and you have to be patient. You have to be, consistent and putting all your effort to make a perfect looking web page, right? So in terms of that Java backend track, or when you are learning DSA at least, you get the satisfaction of achievement very quickly, right? You solve a question in half hour, you solve a question in 1 hour, you solve a question in 1.5 hours. Just that amount of time you have to invest, and then you get a feeling of satisfaction, you get a feeling of achievement, and then you move to the next question, right? On the other hand, in front end, it takes a bit long process to just do one particular project, right? So that is one advantage of learning DSA. And the second advantage is, if I talk about rewards, right? If I talk about rewards at the end, then if you master DSA, right? If you master the intermediate level of DSA and then advanced level of DSA, then the opportunities for you are immense, right? Because once you prove that you are excellent in logic building and problem solving, then there's really no limit to the kind of jobs that you can get, right? The people who master DSA, the complicated DSA, can have the ability to, even crack very high end packages like 18 LPA or something, right? For people who just learn MERN stack based on a little bit of knowledge of DSA, the fundamental knowledge of DSA, the opening package can be a bit less, right? And by a bit less, I mean that it will definitely, the average package is around 8 LPA, but it will be almost impossible to, to get a package of 18 LPA, let's say, right? While it is, on the other hand, it is possible for DSA people, right? People who have mastered DSA have more possibility of getting higher packages, right? So that is all that I had to say about MERN stack track and Java full stack track, right? Again, if I talk about Java full stack track, I have mostly talked about DSA, because if you have mastered DSA, then mastering other things will not be that big a problem, right? The main challenge that you'll be facing is mastering DSA itself. Okay. So yeah, guys, I think that is all that I had to say from my side. Now you guys can go ahead. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Hello,
Mrityunjay.
Yes, please go ahead.
Sir, can I ask my question?
Yeah.
Sir, I am looking forward to choose the Java backend track.
Okay.
I wanted to master DSA, but you know that projects, that is development, is a very important part for freshers, right? Companies are looking for good project on a fresher's resume. But a few moments ago, you said that people who will be choosing the Java backend track, they will have to invest 3 to 4 months alone in DSA, and then only they will be learning Spring Boot. So DSA will not help us to make projects, right? Spring Boot will help us. So what I'm saying in general is that we will not be having good projects on our resume after 7 to 8 months, because we will be investing most of the time on DSA. So can we expect to get placed after like 7 to 8 months if we choose the Java backend track?
See, first of all, I would like to correct you that you can make some project based on DSA as well, right? Obviously, you'll need to use some other tools, but the placement preparedness module is focused on that the tools, the usage of other tools that you need is something that is covered in the curriculum itself. And just after finishing DSA, you do make good projects, right? Because see, there are other projects that do not necessarily need backend development or front-end development, right? So those kind of projects, and they are very basic projects like learning management system and snake game, projects like these you can make after DSA as well. But you have to consider this, that even after making these projects, the projects will help you in getting shortlisted, right? And the projects that you'll be making in placement preparedness module, they will help you in getting shortlisted. But after that, if a company is selecting only based on DSA, and honestly, there are many companies like that, they will only check your logic building and problem solving skills mostly. If you have some projects in your resume, the interviewer will ask you something about the project, because you have included that in your resume. You'll need to understand the working of that project, the ins and outs of that project. But yeah, the main thing that the company will be focusing on is your ability to solve complex DSA questions. So you do not necessarily need to learn Spring Boot for getting placed. You'll still have projects in your resume, and you'll have many companies that are just looking for DSA knowledge.
So if I'm choosing Java backend track, I need to focus only on DSA if I want to get placed from Acciojob, right?
Only, yeah, if you want to get placed in the first 4 months, then you have to focus only on DSA.
Okay, sir. Not
When
for
you
first 4 months, like after choosing the track, right? After choosing the track.
see, then, okay. After you choose the track, then honestly, it is more of your decision that, so first 4 months, you have to focus on DSA. The first set of opportunities that will come to you will be based on DSA. But then when you learn Spring Boot, after that, then you will have companies that are looking specifically for the knowledge of Spring Boot as well. So you'll have two sets of companies that are looking for DSA knowledge and companies that are looking for Spring Boot knowledge. Okay. Then it will be up to you that what you want to focus more on. Because as people who are learning, we have to understand that obviously, like Lalit said, that we should not rush to increase our breadth of knowledge. Our focus should be more on increasing the depth of knowledge. Whatever we are putting in our resume or whatever skills that we are telling the company that we know, we should focus on learning those skills to the depth.
Right.
Okay. As you progress in the track, then you will be learning different things at different points, and you will have some set of companies that are looking for DSA. When you learn Spring, then there will be some set of companies that are looking only for Spring. Then once you learn some bit of front end, there will be companies that are coming for full stack developers and even companies that are coming for front end developers. Then it will be up to you, and obviously we'll provide you guidance in that as well. But yeah, most of it will be your choice that where you want to invest most of your time, because it will be difficult for anyone to master everything to the depth. Got it?
Yes, sir. And sir, I had a career gap of 2.5 years because of government job preparation. So will companies prefer me, like if I'm choosing the Java backend track, right? So will the Java backend companies, will they prefer me, or should I go into the front end to get placed? I mean, I don't know about the opportunities because
this is for everyone. I think having a career gap is something that is not a taboo anymore, right? All of us understand that, even the companies understand that people take decisions in their lives. Some people take career gaps, as you said, for preparing for government jobs. Some people take career gaps to learn new skills, right? So justifying a career gap is not going to be difficult, and it is not a taboo among companies as well. They don't just, if they see a career gap, they will reject anyone. Obviously, interviewer will be interested in knowing why the career gap was taken, right? But I'm pretty sure all of you will have legitimate reasons. You can just be honest about it, and yeah, that will not be a deal.
But if we, apply for service-based companies, they literally treat us like criminals. Like we have done something very wrong that to take a career gap. So that's what I was asking, that whether should I worry about this career gap or not?
For service-based companies, it is like that. But yeah, because they are mass hirers, they have many people who are applying, right? So they prefer people who have just graduated from college, or who are continuously doing something. But for product-based companies, they are looking for talent, right? They are looking for good talent. So they are not going to miss out on talent just based on these superficial things.
Right. So I should focus on like startups and product-based companies.
Yeah, correct.
So anything wrong if I choose Java backend track? Like the opportunities will be there for me, for a person like me?
Absolutely. As I said, you just have to evaluate yourself, that what you are good at and what you want to learn. Okay. That is the only thing that you should keep in mind when you are choosing between track. Do not think about what your degree is. Do not think about what your career, you had a career gap or not. Do not think about your percentage. Only think about what you are good at and what you want to learn.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir, my question is somewhat similar to the previous one. Like, what is like more prevalent? Like, which has the more scope? Like in current times.
Both have same amount of scope, I would say. There's just very minor difference, right? But like the volume
after seeing the Acciojob portal, job selection section, there are many opportunities for front end, but like lesser amount of opportunities for back end.
No, so the point is that the level that you guys are at, you are getting shown selective companies that are only for front end developers. Because as I said, the companies that are looking for front end developers, they ask very basic level of DSA, the amount of DSA that you know, right? So if any one of you has front end development skills from before, those guys can probably apply in those companies.
Yes.
And that is why you are getting a selective number of companies. But in general, at AccioJob, I would say there are much more number of opportunities for DSA people compared to front-end people. And the reason for that is because we have more students on the DSA track and less students on front-end track, honestly, right? That is why we manage the ratio of opportunities based on the volume of students that we have, right? In terms of in general in the market, the opportunities are going to be almost the same, so that will not be an issue.
Sir, one other question is like, if I am going, if I am selecting a DSA track, and after like few months I am like not able to cope up with the DSA logics and all, then I can switch or not?
Yeah, you can switch.
I can switch.
Yeah.
That will be more privileged.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. This side Priyansh. Sir, I also have a doubt that if during preparing for the means backend track, and if we got a job in between preparing, so what can we do? We may focus towards the advanced version of the DSA, and we may move towards the DSA, or according to the jobs need, we need to focus on. What should we do?
So Priyansh, again, I would say that it is again a very personal choice. I cannot provide one solution for everyone because different people have different priorities in life.
Sir.
Right. So, I mean, from AccioJob, we obviously provide you the curriculum. It's not that we will stop giving you the curriculum, right? If you want to proceed learning further, then we are obviously not going to stop you. But let's think about it that if you, in the middle of preparation, you get a job, then if you have one suggestion that I can give you is that if you have time after the job, then focus on the curriculum as well to acquire higher skills, right? While you will be doing job, you will be acquiring some skills over there as well. You will be learning many things from there as well, right? If you have time after that, then definitely put effort in learning more skills, because again, you will not be staying in one job for your entire life, right? Or in the same company. So the more you know, the better will be your transition, right? The more hike you will be able to get.
Yes, sir.
Right. So that is my suggestion, that obviously it is not possible for everyone to pay to invest time, especially people who have just started a job. They have a lot to learn, right? In the job itself, they will be using different techniques, different tools, different frameworks, and the students who are just starting a tech career, they have to invest a lot of time in just getting used to the job, right? So if that is the case, then obviously it is not physically possible for you to pay attention to the course. But yeah, if you can somehow manage to take out your time, then it is always a good idea to
sir.
carry on learning.
Yes, sir. Because at the time we can see that there are changes. Means the job requirements will be different and the curriculum requirements would be different. So
absolutely.
At present time we will focus. Means we need to, at the end we need to manage only.
Yeah. We need to decide. We need to make a decision, and we need to manage.
Sir. Okay, sir. Got a bit clearance, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir. This is Ashish here.
Okay. Can I take a question of Ashish? I'm not sure.
Hello.
Yes, Ashish.
May I ask you the question? Sir, I wanted to ask if we choose the backend track, and like we are proficient in front end part. Okay, we are proficient in front end part, so I have chosen the backend track. So if any opportunity comes while we are preparing for the backend, if any opportunity comes in the front end part, can we apply to that also?
See, the important thing is that you let your batch manager informed. You let your batch manager know that you have these skills, right? And your batch manager will let you give some mocks, right? So that we have it in our system that you know these skills, right? Based on the mocks that you have cleared, right? And after that, obviously, when we put the criteria on mock itself, right? And if you have given the mock already, then you will fit in the eligibility criteria and you will be able to apply.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. That's it.
Okay, I'll take questions one by one to avoid any confusion. So I'm seeing that Shubham has raised his hand. So Shubham, you can go ahead.
Sir, my question was done. Sorry, I didn't lower my hand.
Okay. So everyone who has asked their question, please lower your hand. Okay, Ashish, email to ashishkumar@gmail.com. Okay, solved. Kotesh?
So I have a doubt. So how many students are backend path and how many students are when stuck in path in current
In current, okay.
current situation?
I do not really have data
It
about
will be
it.
like
I mean, I don't remember it on top of my head. I'll need to check in the database. But rough numbers, in terms of rough numbers, I can tell you about the placement preparedness module. In DSA placement preparedness module, there are around every month around 500 students coming, or somewhere between somewhere around 500, right? On the in the front end placement preparedness module, there are very few students coming right now, right? There are last month only 35 students came, okay, in the front end placement preparedness module. So in general, the volume in front end is less, right?
so we can many people are not going the front end path, so we I have a facing an issue in logic building, sir. So that's why I love visualization, like visualization mindset, sir. So can I
Yeah,
choose a mindset, sir?
yeah, you can choose front end, man. Do not think about that how many students are because see what I'll tell you the reason that we have less number of people is because before what used to happen is that I'm talking about August last year, right? The structure that we used to follow is that people used to study DSA completely, then they used to move to front end, right? So there were some people who were not able to do DSA, right? They were stuck over there, right? They were not able to manage, and then most of them tended to give up, right, and lose motivation,
Yes, sir.
right? Then we brought this scheme that even if someone has cleared the fundamentals of DSA, at least we can
Yes, sir.
teach them to move to front end development, right? So
Okay.
clearing fundamental of DSA is very, very important even for front end development. So what used to
Yes, yes.
happen that whenever we do this, then students still got this feeling that when they are going to front end development, they have failed, right? Because since they cannot manage DSA, that is why they are going to front end development, right?
Yes,
So in
sir.
general, their motivation was very, very low over there as well.
So I have a doubt. Another doubt is
Kotesh, can I finish? Just let me finish, then I'll take the other doubt, right?
yes, sir.
Now it's only from beginner modules that we have started giving students a choice that okay, you can choose between the two tracks, right? Before, students had to follow a particular method. So now the people, I can tell you that people who are coming from beginner module, they are really doing very good in front end development track, right? They are progressing very fast, and they are managing things.
Yes, sir. So, sir, Menstack is a multiple opportunity to we can go front end and back end and server side also, sir. There are three sides, and we can go also full stack also. So we can much more opportunities to compare to back end part of Java, sir. So
Yeah, I mean, as Lalit also said, do not focus so much on. Yeah, this is again a mindset problem that I've seen in the student, that they think that okay, I learn front end, I learn back end, then I'll become full stack. The more number of things that I have, the more number of opportunities I will have. But the important thing is that you will have to master each and individual thing to the depth, right? And that is going to be challenged. So again, just think about that, what you are good at. If you are thinking that you should go to front end development because you are you have visualization is something that appeals to you, or you are not so good with logic building and problem solving, that is the right way. Do not think about in terms of that how many students are there, or that number of opportunities will be more. The number of opportunities are going to be the same on both the tracks.
okay, sir. So, sir, so I'm pass out in 2022 in BSc Computer Science, sir. So should I go with join? I make a job, join in March, sir. So should I join MCA, sir, to prolong my?
It's not really
Yes,
going
sir.
to help you a lot in shortlisting, honestly.
Yes.
since you have done BSc Computer Science, right? I will insist you that you just focus on building more and more skills.
Okay, sir. So, like, I have feel like more of many students are come out from BTech and MCA and BE, sir. So I have a less chance to get a job. So that's why I'm fear about the job, sir. So that is the main reason.
That is okay. I'll give you honestly what is the situation. So out of all the companies that come, there are 50% companies that put a requirement that the person should be a BTech graduate, but then the rest 50% have open eligibility. Okay, they have open eligibility and they do not really care about what is your background. So
okay, so another query is so whenever we apply the front end jobs, so they ask DSA questions or front end questions, sir.
They will ask you very basic level of DSA, Kotesh, as I said, the level of DSA that you have already learned in the beginner module, which will be around loops, nested loops, arrays, 2D arrays, strings, string builder, right, array list, recursion, sorting, oops, right? Only these level of DSA questions, nothing beyond that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Clark.
Whatever you have learned so far, it's not something that is not going to be of use to you. It is still something that you need to master, right?
Yes, sir. My brother also told me, sir, he also 10 years of experience of .NET. So I'm asking to that person, is that required the DSA, advanced DSA, or required to implement any project or not? I'm asked, sir. So he told me DSA is not required, not much more. Little bit of time complexity is important for two.
Yes, correct.
And the sorting methods are not required, not in real time, not implement anywhere. It is have to learn, and when interview asked, then we explain. That is the main reason. So not implement on project.
Yeah,
that is he told, sir. So that
correct.
is
In the real life projects, very less DSA is used in reality. But again, DSA is more about that the student has learned some programming and he has invested some time in learning programming. They know some basic logic building and problem solving, right?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. These are my queries, sir.
Okay, Kotesh. Shivani? Hello. Okay, we can move to Sahgel then. Sahgel, you can go ahead with your question. Or Chinmay. Tushar, you have a question?
Hello.
Yes, Sahgel.
Sir, now I have doubts. Sir, we are not learning now Java basics, no, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, sudden shifting into main stack front end mid, it will create some kind of
Sahgel, again, you are not learning Java. You are learning data structures, right? I have said this before as well. When you are learning DSA, you are not learning a language.
Okay.
The emphasis is on
when after completing front end, when we come to Java, it will be somewhat we learned Java a months before, so it will be very somewhat time taking to recollect all of that, no, sir?
Of course, it will be difficult for you to get back to Java, but that is why you should be familiar with the data structures and algorithms concept that you are learning over here. That is something that you'll be using in front end as well. Learning a language is just matter of learning a syntax, right? Learning syntax is learning some new words.
Okay. Yes,
right. So just make sure that you don't forget the things that you have learned in terms of the data structures and algorithms part.
Sir, which one is the best for non-IT background, sir? Which will be?
I said, so I will repeat the same thing. Don't focus on what your background is. Focus on what you are good at, what you are not so good at, and what you are interested in learning, right? Doesn't matter if you are from IT background, it doesn't change anything about the tracks, right? Both are equally good for IT tracks, IT and non-IT people, and both are equally complicated for IT and non-IT people.
Okay. Sir, will the duration of both the tracks are same, or is there any difference between them?
No, the duration of the track is the same.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes, Tushar. Okay, guys, if you don't have any question, I'll have to leave as well. I think you guys have sufficient information to take the discussion on your own and discuss among yourself that which track is the best for you. So good luck with that, and I think that now you'll be able to make a more informed decision.
Hello.
Yes, Chinmay, go ahead.
Sir, this is Tushar.
Yes, Tushar, go ahead.
Sir, since we know that Acciojob has 300 plus partner companies, right? So yes. What percentage of companies does not have any eligibility criteria regarding graduation year? Because as you know that I have a career gap, right? And I'm a BTech computer science, but I wanted to know that what percent of companies are available for me, for a person like me who has a gap?
Who has a gap?
Who has a gap, I have a gap, as I told you before also.
Yeah, there are no companies, if I talk about product-based companies, there are no companies that really put this as an eligibility criteria, that we will not take people with a career gap.
No, I'm talking about that Accio partnered companies.
In Accio partnered companies, I'm telling you that when a company comes to for hiring from Acciojob, they only care about what student has learned at Acciojob, right?
Okay.
They do not care about the past history or background. Some people, as I said, some companies, 50% of the companies put a criteria on the graduation degree, but the rest 50% do not have any eligibility criteria, and no company puts a criteria on career gap or things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Shivani saying, sir, we want to go to front end, then it is necessary to do BSA. As I mentioned, Shivani, only the level of DSA that you have learned in the beginner's track is sufficient for front end, right? You'll not need to know the data structures like stacks, queues, linked list, and all those. So only that level of DSA is important.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please go ahead.
Sir, what if someone has recently joined Acciojob and they're looking forward to join any company which is which is actually work on Java? So does it helpful for them when companies will come in Accio? So it is good for them to take a decision?
I didn't get your question. Can you repeat, please?
Sir, I mean, what if someone has recently joined Acciojob and as well as they're looking forward to join company from outside, which is already which was work on in Java. Okay. So does it helpful for them?
I mean, yes, you can join the company, and then you can, if you are in a company that works on Java backend, then it's better for you that you select Java backend track, right? There you'll be learning more DSA, and then you'll be learning some Spring Boot as well, right? And Java backend track will be better for you. Okay. Okay, guys, I'll take one last question. Then I'll leave. You guys can reach out to me LinkedIn as well. If you have questions later, you can.
Thank you, sir, for giving us your insights. This will definitely help us in choosing a track. So, okay, I guess it would have been helpful for all of my batchmates in deciding, making a decision for your track. It will definitely help. We'll be providing you with the recording. And the thing I would like to say is, let's work hard together and have a healthy competition. And yeah, before ending, I'll tell you guys, this initiative was brought forward by one of our batchmates, which was Mr. Shubham Bharti. And together with our team, which is of 8 members, we have made it into a success, into a reality. So I would like to hand it over to Shubham. Shubham, would you like to take over? Can you unmute Shubham?
Yes, yes. Firstly, like guys, I think some of the few guys are still having some questions, doubts are still left. Tushar is still saying like unmute karo, and I guess someone was there whose hand was like not down. Like whose name was that? I think was left.
Guys,
Some questions. If you are like left with any question, please ask. Like we are having some of our few colleagues are like working professionals, right? You will get the answers. It was like last time moment. Then we had like Accio's support.
Yeah.
Unless their support, it was like not possible to join the session, right? The link was like shared at the last moment. Seems like no one is left with any question.
Yeah, it seems like.
Guys, firstly, I would like to thank like our BM, Nishi ma'am. Like I was like, firstly, I asked her like, ma'am, can we like do this session? And she was very cooperative. Like, yes, you can. And then our team was made, and all of us like yesterday to last night, we were working on the slides. And yeah, it took lots of efforts to make this happen. And thank you all for joining.
Yeah, thank you all for joining and this providing your valuable time to such session and deciding that which track is helpful for you. Shubham, can I end the meeting?
Yes.